My name is Tony Zolinsik. I'm the Tuba Euphonium professor here at Capital University, and I cannot tell you how happy I am personally to be back here live doing Tuba Christmas. The last year for most of us was very rough. Those of us in the performing arts had a really rough time of it. We figured out how to do a lot of things. We did a lot of things online, but we know that that is not as beneficial to any of us as being out here in person. One of the neat things is that it's been 25 years since we did a Tuba Christmas outdoors in Columbus. 25 years ago, my father-in-law, Gary Tyree, was in charge of Tuba Christmas Columbus, and that was the year, and I only know that it was 25 years because that's when, because we're celebrating the 25th anniversary of the remodel of the state, or the Capitol building. So, the State House building. So we stood on the steps there. Well, they closed the steps that year, and we couldn't do it on the steps, and so we went to City Hall. Well, you know, when you're on the steps of the State House, you're protected by the Huntington building and the Vern Reif Center. The wind can't get at you, right? Because you're facing west, no wind. Well, you go over to City Hall with the south-facing steps, and the wind is blowing right off the Olentangy River. And if you look at these horns, they're all metal. Metal and cold are not good together. And so Gary got ready to turn around and do a downbeat. The temperature was about 28 degrees. The wind was about 25 miles an hour coming across the Olentangy River. And he went, snark, and that's all you heard from Tuba Christmas, with 500 people on stage. And so he said, we're never doing it outside again. So here we are. 25 years later. We're going to have a lot of things to talk about today. We're going to not talk as much as normal, which the guys behind me are very happy about. Yay! And but I wanted first, as we've been doing for the last few years, and it's very much my pleasure to start the concert with something a little unique. Some of you may never have seen an Alp horn before. This is a 12-foot long wooden tube that is most known in Switzerland. And no valves, no fingers. So everything we have to play on these instruments, we just play by utilizing changes in air and lips. But this is a really awesome group. This is Alphorn Grützi, and I normally would play with them, but I've got enough going on today. So, and these guys don't need me anyhow. So I'm going to conduct this one. So we're going to give you 2 tunes from Alphorn Grützi to get the evening started. Alphorn Grützi, ladies and gentlemen.
I've got a PA, but I'm not going to use it right now. We're going to play each song once through, and then the second time through, I'm going to turn around and want you to sing. So there's got to be a lot of singing, because it will keep you warm, okay? Here we go. Come on, you three it's Freddie Mercury time now. All right, fine. Sorry, Nat.
I broke it.
That was the classic.
Oh, here too. Okay, I'll do this. Yeah. Here we go. We got a cable. It's don't buy the Karma cables anymore. Sweetwater. All right, that was. I'm gonna put it down in just a second because I don't need it. I think we're good. That was number 1.
Otherwise known as. I'm done. That was number 1. Adeste Fidelis. Thank you very much. Your great singing voices will get better as the night goes on. That was fantastic. Tuba Christmas was started back in 1974. I normally tell a very long story, but I'm not going to. Go online and read it. Yeah, that's what Google is for, right? Number 3. Next is Deck the Halls. We'll play, then you sing.
Still on and okay.
Number 3, Deck the Halls. Next is God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen. And in this one, what we like to do is we'll play it one time through, and then when we come back to sing it, we'd like just the gentlemen in the audience to sing. All right? Now, ladies, if you're sitting next to a guy who's not singing, giving him the old elbow and get this started. So we will have a clarification at the end to see how well they did. So, gentlemen, you're on. God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen. Blow tubas. here. Nice job, guys. Number 5. Number 5. These things never go off without a lot of work ahead of time, and so today I want to publicly thank the members of my studio and friends to Merry Tuba Christmas Columbus who came out early and helped us set up. I've got the best Tuba Euphonium studio on the planet, as well as a great bunch of friends, so thank you. Everybody who came out here early to help us set up. Come on, stand up and say, there we go. I'll give you 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Okay?
Oh, yeah, I do.
I have faith. I have faith. I do have faith. I'm not going to move it. So, as I said, I'm surrounded by a great circle of friends, and our musical circle here in Columbus is fantastic. And our first guest conductor that I want to introduce to you is I've known him since I got to town. Basically, I think we came to Ohio at the same time. You came a little farther from of course Great Britain, but I came just down from Michigan, and well, they had to send us down to help out. Every 25 years. So, no, Dr. Keith Wilkinson is one of my very dear friends, a well-known brass band conductor in Britain and here in the United States, is the conductor emeritus of the brass band of the Western Reserve, and is now the conductor of the Central Ohio Brass Band right here in Columbus. He was a faculty member here at Capitol with me, teaching in the mathematics department, but would come over on Mondays at 4 o'clock and put my studio's feet to the fire, because he would come in and play euphonium with my Tuba Euphonium ensemble, and that was a real treat. So here to conduct number 6, Good King Wenceslas, Dr. Keith Wilkinson. Once again, Dr. Keith Wilkinson. Thank you, Keith.
Oh, 17. So, how many of you actually know how 17 goes? People around don't know. I'll tell you the big thing. So, we do the whole thing twice through. I'm not sure either. And then when we get to that, when we repeat the second section, we stop playing and just let the women sing the glory. Okay? Yeah. Ladies, you thought it was funny that we had the guys sing by themselves? You're going to sing without us. So when we get through that one, so when we get to 9, on the second time through, don't play. And then I will bring you in on the pickups to 13. You will see the world's largest cube come back in. You will also see the world's largest cutoff stop. Okay? Here we go. Angels we have heard on high. When we get to the Gloria the second time, ladies only. No band. No guys. All right? It's the Celestial Mary Tuba Christmas Columbus Choir. You will love it. Here we go. 4 beats.
All of us up on stage really love it when you cheer for us. That really gets us going, but we like to sometimes cheer for you, and we call this a tuba cheer. So everybody please, a tuba cheer for the women in the Celestial Mary Tuba Christmas Choir. Now, you all thought that was pretty cool looking, right? And you were like reaching for your phones, like, oh, I gotta get a picture of that. So get your phones. Here is your gratuitous tuba cheer. Ready? I'm gonna step down. Tuba cheer. I'd like to bring another guest up. Amy Schumacher Bliss is a alumna of Capital University. Woohoo! went off to England and did her study at the Royal Northern College of Music with Stephen Mead, one of the great euphonium soloists and teachers of our time. And then came back to the States, taught for a good while at Rowan University, and is a phenomenal euphonium soloist, brass band player, wind band player. She does just about everything. She now lives back in the area, and we're really, really happy about that. So all you euphonium cats, now you know who you need to call, get some lessons. Give Amy a buzz. But she's one of the greatest players and one of the greatest people I have ever met, and I'm very, very happy to have as a friend now, Amy Schumacher Bliss. Once again for Amy Schumacher Bliss. Thanks, Amy.
Jesse's doing the light tonight. Way too tired to stay. It's still eventually getting cold.
One of the greatest traditions that we have here at Merry Tuba Christmas is Columbus. Is for many, many years we have been blessed to have the low brass section from the 122nd Ohio Army National Guard Band join us. And yes, absolutely. Absolutely. They're the good-looking ones right in the middle. And I remember coming to my first Tuba Christmas and seeing that bunch sitting there in dress uniform and playing absolutely great and giving the core to the ensemble. And probably about 10 or 12 years ago, I said, hey, why don't you guys play your own tune? Because they've a huge low brass ensemble. They've got 8 people back there now. And I said, why don't you make your own tune? And so Jason Luthi started arranging tunes, and every year since, we've brought them in, and they play a song just as their own section, and they are doing some really beautiful things. So today we're going to bring you 2 African carols that Jason has arranged, and I'm going to get the titles right now, because I forgot. It's Sing Noel, and... Oh, Sing Noel, and what's the first one? Oh, Good News for Everyone. Good News for Everyone and Sing Noel. Please welcome the low brass section from the 122nd Ohio Army National Guard Band. Warrant Officer 2, Joe Lewis, Commander. Thanks all for joining us again. That was fantastic. Thank you. I'd like to take this time. We're going to get a little bit more thoughtful and introspective about this time of year. Oh, the chimes. Oh, what timing is that? It's very important that I think we spend a time when we have the cats from the 122nd here to think about our service people. Not even just in the military, but our service people that are going to be working all through the holiday that may not get the chance to come home and be with us, and think about how they are feeling. And so we are going to play one of the great carols of all time, Silent Night. Please join us on the second verse. So next we're going to do number 14, Joy to the World. Joy to the World is the only one in the book that we do 3 times. And we do it 3 times for one very important reason. Can anyone in the band tell us? Because that's the way Harvey liked it. Harvey Phillips, who started To Merry Tuba Christmas back in 1974, this was his favorite Christmas carol. And so we do this one 3 times. So you're going to have to eke out 2 verses of Joy to the World. But, you know, if you start mixing words like I do from verse 1 and verse 2, it's totally okay because it's the spirit that counts, right? Here we go. Joy to the World. By the way, is anybody, like, you got Venus, and I think you got Jupiter, and Capitol, and tubas? What more is there? We are down to our last 2 numbers. And I know, but it's cold. It's okay. So I'm so glad that you all came out. It's phenomenal to see this size crowd and this size of band. I didn't know what to expect coming back from a year off of doing pretty much everything. You never quite know, but I think. And I talked to a lot of people in the band today as we were getting ready to come play. And every person that I talked to said, we need this. And you need this. And we need this. And we need it between us. And I told the dean here at Capitol, I said, there's got to be a way to do this. There's got to be a way. And I said, if we have to do it outside again, and he said, that's great. And I said, I shouldn't have led with that. But here we are, and I got to tell you, there is a little tiny little warm spot in my heart right now for doing this the traditional way, because when Harvey first did it in '74, it was on the ice at Rockefeller Center in New York City, and they still do it out there on the ice at Rockefeller Center, and there's a lot of them that are still outdoors. And I'm not talking about the ones in SoCal. That's fine, you know. Or the one in Orlando, yeah, okay. But it's the way Tuba Christmas is supposed to be, where we kind of create this feeling around us being out here and seeing all this wonder. So our last 2 tunes, we're going to do Jingle Bells, a little happy version that Norland Bewley wrote, and we'll finish off with We Wish You a Merry Christmas. Thank you all again for coming out. Hopefully next year we'll be back to something a little more normal, and we can be indoors and celebrate again. And so I hope for those of you that this was your first time that you'll come back and join us again. For those of you that have been with us, thank you so much for your continued support. And Merry, as Paul Drosty taught me to say, Merry Tuba Christmas and Happy Euphonium New Year.
Sydney. Merry Christmas. Sydney. Merry Christmas.